In our editorial of tonight, we bring to you yet another beautiful article from Comrade Don Juan Obi, the Lord of the Realms, and he titles, Why the Presence of a Guarantor and/or Credible Third Party is Crucial for Encounters Between the Ambazonian Leadership and French Cameroons. His first point, Ambazonians' political recognition, the facts and consequences of an international mediation, is the political accreditation process for the recognition of Ambazonia. Such may be dependent upon as a crucial linchpin to fertilize a recognizance treaty. At least in principle, a third-party mediation is needed to formalize Ambazonia-French Cameroon's relationship in the eyes of conventional politics. 2. The wish and interest of France. Politics in the Cameroons is the wish and interest of France. Even if one were to succeed by whatever means to reach a deal with French Cameroons, Ambazonians cannot depend on it as they would not be able to hold French into account. Therefore, a guarantor or an entity of corporate international standing is required. The Devil's Offer, the third, the annexation and occupation of Ambazonia was brought about as a political offer by French Cameroons to form a two-state of equal status in 1961, but once Ambazonians, then the former British Southern Cameroons, declared only their intentions to accept this offer, French Cameroon invaded and took over the territory since then. Without reversing its position, offers from French Cameroon are as good as bait with sinister motive, hence the need for a guarantor. 4. The constitutional prankster. French Cameroon have yet to implement its own 1996 constitutional provisions on decentralization, making it a dubious game player in politics. As such, even if bilateral agreements were to be codified into law, implementation is not guaranteed. Therefore, a framework of implementation must be worked out and guaranteed independently. 5. False negotiations. Since the day of politics leading to the 1961 Fuban Conference, no agreement reached between French Cameroon versus the state and people of Ambazonia, then West Cameroon's Ambazonia, has materialized and been sustained. Meeting between these two entities have mutualized intentions of historical significance, but politics have not lived to reality. Apart from the parties, there has been no credible witnesses to bind the soul of contract or give legal force to agreement. The federalism agreed on this occasion was neither substantive, productive, nor sustainable. And 6. Alliances. With laws proven insufficient, agreements broken, and offers rescinded, by the French Cameroon regime fly in the winds of politics. Before 1961, promises made disappeared into thin air. In the heat of 1961, promises made jumped into the oceans of uncertainty, and in 1972, promises flew over the sky, and during AAC 1 and 2, promises were made but not kept, even on little developmental projects such as roads linking Boya, Mamfe Bamenda, and Kumba Kondo Titi, Mundemba, etc. Nothing has come to fruition. So the words of French Cameroons has no value in the political marketplace. 7. The tag of terrorists and terrorism. French Cameroons has tagged Ambazonians as terrorists and even moved to convict Ambazonian leadership on trumped-up charges of terrorism. Since it's not foreseeable that the legal system may correct itself on this, while executive amnesty would be comical, such as the present state of affairs at the DDR, the hope of undoing this political plague of terrorism is by formal talks under international mandate, meeting on terms other than those dictated by French Cameroons and on a neutral venue would be enough proof that Ambazonians are not terrorists. The image of terrorists, though not recognized by the international community, must have justice, which is dialogue. 8. The fate of political prisoners and detainees. Only upon terms reached in a binding agreement can the Yaoundé regime be made to release Ambazonians currently serving unjust jail sentences or awaiting trials. Anything outside this is political charity. Ambazonia detainees, individuals, have been unilaterally promised freedom by French Cameroon's officials upon fulfillment of some political conditions, but they are still in dungeons despite coming through with their bagging. Now, also, individual and political appeals have not made the regime shift position, nor has a court ruling in Nigeria reversed the illegal extradition of Naira 9. The fate of all prisoners and detainees depend on the representatives of the people reaching formal agreement in a credible process. 9. Worst friend and best enemy. French Cameroon have conducted herself as Ambazonians' worst political relatives, interested in exploiting the good of the land for itself, while denying Ambazonians of their good heritage. Acting in this way as help guided Ambazonians to sub-political consciousness. Such a mischievous entity as French Cameroon has been cannot be encountered in the dark nor left with the fate of Ambazonians. Now 10. Politics of denial. Until the year of our Lord and time of this remarks, politics in Yaoundé denies not only the existence of the former British Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, but her October Independence Day and political identity. For an entity in denial of facts and history, the delicate subject of politics and destiny of millions cannot be left to her whims and will. 11. The Devil's Chestnut. The fortune and future of Ambazonians are locked up in safe boxes across French Cameroon's warehouses throughout France. The dream of Ambazonians is the political business in Yaoundé, tied up in complex treaties and covenants, known and unknown. Only by reaching for the soul of politics shall Ambazonians recover their lost dreams and destiny. An international mandate is required to unravel such a complex mechanism of economic interdependence. It's possible to steal drops of honey from the devil's hive, but to live on this trade and recover an identity, one must leave and let leave. Who owes what? What has matured to what? Where is this and that? How and why? Must be resolved and progressed into treaties. 12. Conventional politics. Convention in the sphere of politics holds that nothing has been agreed if everything is left hanging in the air. So Ambazonians must be ambitious enough to hold proof of whatever deliberations and agreement with French Cameroon in a manner which guarantees everything. Mere talking is not enough. Intentions and positions must conclude themselves on the business table of politics. Convention has this as standard practice. The culture of Ambazonia demands this, and the world requires nothing less. All institutions and entities implicated in the Ambazonian independence claim will be unwilling to correct their position, advise themselves, nor respond to questions until a formal process is initiated with consequences as such. 13. The sovereign will. French Cameroon considers every discussion with the political boundaries of the Cameroons as an internal affair in which Yaoundé reserves uncontested privileges and authority, whether it's the example of the Grand National Dialogue, where the resolutions have been set aside, or court judgments which have simply been jettisoned, or political parties' manifestos kept in limbo. The Yaoundé regime is not inclined to domesticate persuasion and pressure. Therefore, seriousness can only be gotten from the system by external forces meeting as equal entities and not part of French Cameroon. These are equally the reasons why the interim government leadership of President Samuel Ikome Sako cannot